Hello there, welcome into the first edition of the SAU Volleyball Coaches Show. I'm Daniel Gallegos, joined alongside head volleyball coach Steven Gream. And Coach, obviously the first Coaches Show of the year 2014 season is closely approaching. Your preseason going into the regular year is coming up soon. I know you're excited about that, but the first bit of news to talk about with that, obviously preseason polls are coming out, just released. Your team coming into this year is going to be tied for 6th. Tied with Southeastern Oklahoma. Arkansas Tech picked as the preseason favorite. Middle of the road right there as far as coming into the season, expectations from at least the other head coaches in the conference. Do you think it's a fair assessment of your team going in?
Well, last year it was just so much parity in our conference. I mean, the number 2 team in our conference was 9-5, the number 7 team in our conference was 7-7. So it's fair. Do I think it's where we'll end up? No. I think we'll go much higher with the talent we've brought in and what we have returning. The coaches sometimes will just vote, and that's the way the numbers fall. There's just so much parity there. Tech deservingly got hot at the end of the year and finished well, and they have a good portion of their players coming back, so they're deservingly so for them to be number 1 seed. Harding, the returning regular season champion, so I can understand those two, and then everybody else, it's just a flash of what's going to end up. So, we're okay. I think we're going to finish higher, but I'm okay for right now.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned the parity within the Great American Conference last year. You obviously know that you're going to play those teams during the course of the year in conference play, but talk a little bit about the schedule you've put together for this upcoming season as far as your non-conference. You're going a couple of tournaments where you're going to get 4 matches in. You got several tri-matches all along the way, so talk a little bit about your non-conference opponents.
Well, this schedule is probably the hardest schedule I've had since I've been at SAU. We're going down to Orlando to play 4 non-conference matches there, play some very tough teams there. And then the next weekend we're probably playing the toughest tournament I've probably ever been in as a coach. Almost every team in that tournament was ranked last year or receiving votes. So those 2 tournaments right there will help us. And then we're playing St. Mary's and Texas A&M International, Texas A&M Kingsville, and all those non-conference schools in Texas that are going to help us with the region aspect of it as well. So I think that those matches are going to help us prepare for the toughest conference season we have.
One of the things you've got coming back into this season is you've got a pretty good group of returners coming back last year. You lost, I think, about 4 seniors last year that were key contributors to you, but you also played a lot of young players, particularly freshmen, that saw significant playing time and are returning. Talk a little bit about those returns you got coming back.
Well, starting off with Haley McNee, who's our number 1 hitter. She was a freshman last year. She had 331 kills last year for us. Logan Tolbert was our number 2 hitter, also a freshman last year. Had over 280 kills, hit for a high percentage. We have Amanda Manji, who is our 3rd hitter that's returning. We're moving her back to outside this year, which is her more comfortable position. We think she's going to do much better out there this year, even though she was, our 3rd hitter last year. And then we have our defense, Allie Cecil and Allie Rodriguez, who are going to help anchor that area that's the void that's been left by Lauren Woods leaving due to graduating. We have Hannah Rice, who's going to move from being a setter to a DS. It's going to add depth to the defense there. And Angie Geiger is going to play middle and right side. We've worked with her playing right side to add a little more depth in that area. So we like our returners coming back. 70% of our kills from last year are returning. Over 60% of our aces are returning, and over 60% of our blocks are returning. So that's a good group that's coming back for us.
Obviously, a core group of players returning for you. Talk a little bit about some of the newcomers. I know that's one of the things that a coach is always striving to do is recruit, and always try to build up, even though, like you said, you've got a very good group coming back and a lot of what you had out of production last year. Talk about those that are going to be new this year and what we can expect out of them.
Well, with us losing Gabby Clark, I was our setter last year, we wanted to bring in some quality, top-notch setters, and we also wanted to bring, with us moving Hannah to DS, we wanted to bring in 2 quality setters, and we think we did that with Taylor Youm, who was one of the top setters in California in the JUCO world. We also brought in Savannah Pillow, who's one of the top setters in Tennessee, All-State, high performance. We think both of those will really battle for the starting position there. We have Amelia Ace, who's a D1 transfer, who's going to play middle for us. Is going to add a big powerhouse there with us moving Manji to outside. It's going to help fill that hole. We have Shelby Lauterbach, who's going to come in, who's number 25 hitter in the nation last year in JUCO. We can put her at any front row position. She can also pass. She has the depth there. Just has a pretty good, really good serve. We have Allie O'Banion, who is one of the top players in high school in California. Her own high school retired her jersey last year. She's high performance in Croatia, high performance in the Olympics training facility in Colorado. So those players right there are coming in are going to add a lot of depth to us and actually help our starters by pushing them to get to that side rotation. Because one thing about this team is 1 through 12, anybody can start any given night, and that's a nice problem to have because it's going to push everybody, and it's also going to push us in the conference tournament.
Yeah, knowing you on a more personal level, knowing how competitive you are, obviously that preseason prediction tied for 6 probably is not what you want to see, and obviously where you don't expect to end up. But what do you think that it's going to take from your team, not necessarily knowing all the variables that will go on throughout the season, but just at the outset, what do you think it's going to take to increase and finish a lot higher than where they have you slotted right now?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get everybody to the team chemistry there. You know, we got 5 newcomers coming in. We got to mix those in and find the right mix to make it work. Another thing we're going to have to do is just we're going to have to work on reducing our number of errors. That hurt us at key times. There was a few games last year that we had won. We had a few OBU games that we had that the key errors at the right time just cost us. That we could have went either way. That our regular season record could have been a lot better than it was last year. So I think cleaning it up, getting the team chemistry together, keep playing our game, which is speed and serving tough and playing hardcore defense, and I think we'll be just fine.
One of the things that might be a little bit of a wild card going into this upcoming year is playing at home. You know, obviously, recently there's been some major renovations to the gymnasium. Air conditioning has been put in now, and so that's going to maybe allow us to play some more home events. Your team was very tough at home last year. Do you kind of see that sticking through with this year as far as the attendance to turn out from the school and also your guys' play at home?
I think so. We love playing at home, especially now that we have air conditioning where we can actually be more comfortable while we're playing at home. We broke the attendance record for volleyball last year. I would love to break it again this year, and I think the air conditioning will help with that. Our players get fired up because one thing about the W.T. Watson gym is it gets very loud in there. And so our kids feed off that energy, and we feel that, you know, Texas A&M calls their crowd the 12th man. We call ours the 7th man. You know, that's what we look for, and we feed off that, and we look for more and more home games. And like you said, we've been very successful there, and we'd like to keep that going.
We appreciate it very much for your time again. Head volleyball coach Steven Gream, the Lady Mule Rider volleyball team will report for preseason workouts in the next couple of weeks, but their season will start in earnest September 5th. You guys are going down again, you mentioned, to the Florida area, taking part in a tournament there. But on September 1st, there will be a home scrimmage against Paris Junior College, kind of just to get you guys ready for the regular season. So, Coach, looking forward to a great year for you, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.